Desperate times call for desperate measures. We've all heard the saying. But how does this play into boredom's role for productivity? Now, I got a perfect example coming from last week. I was on an airplane and, I had no more podcasts, no more anything downloaded, not even a movie, right? So what did I do? I went onto the airplanes. They had their own Wi-Fi connected to that, and they had a selection of all these movies. I ended up watching Black Adam, which honestly is kind of a trash movie, but it was pretty good because I was in such a bad spot, right? I was uncomfy, I was bored, I didn't have anything else to do, so it kind of made it that much better, right? And you may ask, why bring up that example? And the reason I do is because you can artificially create this same setting, this same instance where your brain will default to literally anything. The desperate times call for desperate measures. So as for how it directly applies to productivity, if you have all these distractions around you, then that's simply not putting you in that bored mindset. And so every other thing that you could do to actually get somewhere, if it's a goal, if it's some sort of task that you have to do, why would you do that when you're not bored? You're stimulated in these other areas, whether it's something like social media, video games, eating, all these different things are so overstimulating that there's no point in really doing the harder things that get you places. But this is exactly where boredom comes in. Because if you put yourself in a position where you don't have these distractions, then you're going to be left with nothing, right? All you can do is sit in a chair and, stare at the ceiling or something like that. But for the most part, who really wants to do that, unless it's a comfy chair? No one wants to just be standing doing nothing like that, right? You want to be doing something. And so your mind will default to doing anything. So the first step with this process that I guarantee will get you to reach your goals is that you need to actually focus on what tasks or goals or anything that you want to work towards. Focus on a few of them. Now for me, you guys already may know, it's basketball, God, and entrepreneurship, which ties into YouTube. And that doesn't mean that I don't focus on other things, right? There's family, friends, homework, all of that, right? But these are a few of the other hobbies that, I really, really want to make progress in. And so I have a plan every single day to get these things done, to develop in each of these categories. But now, step number 2, which is to remove the distractions so that you can put yourself in a place of boredom. And for that, I use 2 softwares, alright, and it's very simple, they're free, alright, and this is no sponsorship. Bro, I got 500 subs, no one's sponsoring me just yet. So you know that you're all clean on this. These 2 apps, Opal, number 1 for, I know it's definitely on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android. Sorry, my brother's over there. If you got an Android, I'm sorry. But iOS, Opal is there, and that basically just blocks any website, any app. And for me, I just set my timer for infinity. So for the past while, I have not been able to access the apps that I blocked and the websites that I blocked. And there's a paid version, by the way, which I do have. But you don't really need to do it. But for me, since I set it for infinity, you have to pay just to get that, which it's $100 for a year. But the second software is actually a Chrome extension, and this is called Stay Focused. Alright, and what this does, this just blocks any unproductive website of your choosing. And you can do that same sort of thing with putting on this infinite timer, or you can just make it a temporary one that happens on certain days and certain times. And the reason I mention these 2 things, and they happen to be software, is because these are the things that are typically distracting us. It is our phones, it is our computers, or technology in general. And so if we can remove these very overstimulating distractions, such as our phone or computer, then most of what we will be left with is just the work itself, right? So on our computer we can lock in and we can be focused consistently. And if it's some sort of thing in the physical world beyond your computer or whatever kind of technology, you won't be distracted by your phone getting in the way, right? Or these notifications that could happen. And again, you don't have to take it to some huge extreme by going on that infinite timer. You could simply just set a timer for a certain duration while you plan on working. And the same thing applies for literally any type of distraction, right? It doesn't have to be social media or anything like that. If there's something that's overstimulating, that's too much entertainment, if it's wasting your time, work on getting rid of that. Put some sort of limit on it. Put some sort of restriction in some way, right? If it is food, lock it up. I don't know, put a lock on your fridge. Something. Just something to put a little bit of resistance there That way you are put in that position of boredom, and then all you can do is default back to that work that you planned on getting done. So try this out. I'm telling you, it's extremely useful. You just really got to have the discipline to initially get started with it and cut out those distractions. And from there, you're going to see everything, productivity, workflow, all of that type of stuff skyrocket. Good luck. Check out any of the videos to the side of me right here, and I'll see you over there. I'm out. Be well, be blessed. Peace.